All right, y'all. Thank you for your time today. I'm Jonathan Carroll, financial specialist. To my loyal supporters, I want to apologize for being away for so long and for taking so long to get this presentation here together. I've been really busy since I've, last took my Series 6 exam as well as my Series 63. I've been really busy. However, I just wanted to follow through and produce this video of helpful tips on how I pass my Series 6 exam and what you can do to ensure that you pass your exam too. So this is my proof, my test results that I passed the Series 6 exam. And as you see, as y'all already know, if you're taking the Series 6 class, the SIE exam, then you know that FINRA does not give you a score. They just tell you if you pass or fail. Now, let me move forward here to our checklist, and I promise that I won't take up too much of your time. One of the things, the major thing that I want everyone to do is, if you haven't already, and if this is your first time logging onto my channel and watching any of my content, and you are a securities professional, then I want you to watch my video in its entirety, how I passed the SIE exam on the first try. And in that video, I give you step-by-step instructions on the program and the regimen that I used to pass the exam. Now, I took an alternative approach. And the reason why I took this alternative approach is because I found that the traditional schools, I didn't like the way that they presented the information. And I thought that it could have been better organized and presented in what I refer to as digestible nuggets. A lot of the classes, they just don't present the content in a way that the average person can consume it. So I looked for an alternative, and that alternative is a platform called Study.com. In the video, and the reason why I say watch the SIE exam video, how I passed my SIE exam on the first try, the reason why I say watch it is because I use several different platforms and I merged them together into one study course. So Study.com is the base. And what I like about Study.com is the fact that they have a free mobile app, so you can take it with you. And you can, most of the lessons, they are like a 5-minute read. And they have streamlined the content so that you are studying the information that is pertinent to the exam. They don't have hardly any fluff information in the lessons. It is specific to the exam. And your app is also synced to the desktop. So you could get up in the morning, you have time, you log onto your laptop, you can get an exam done, and then while you're taking a lunch break, you're out at work, or you just, you just drive in a car, or and you pull to the side to, grab a bite to eat or something while you're waiting on your food to arrive. You can, open up your mobile device, open up your cell phone, open up the app, and then do a lesson. And I found that to be very useful and helpful. So that's one of the major platforms that I use. That's the primary platform. And when you log on to that platform, in the description below, there is a discount link that is an affiliate link of mine, because I am an ambassador of Study.com. After I went through their program and I saw how beneficial this program is, then I asked if I could be an ambassador of their program. What you will get from using the link below, should you choose to do so, is a $30 per month discount for the first 3 months. The course is about $60 a month, so essentially you'll pay $30 for 3 months. You'll get a $30 discount for 3 months, so we're talking about $90 if you use the course for 3 months. I myself, for the SIE exam, I only needed 30 days. So within that time, I merged that platform with Quizlets and a few other platforms to give me the most exposure to the questions that will be asked on the SIE exam. I want you to do the same thing to pass the Series 6 exam. So watch that video in its entirety and then follow, if you choose to, follow the framework of what I laid out. It worked for me. Hopefully it will work for you. So now I put this checklist together for what I experienced when I took my Series 6 exam, to pass it on to you to help you to prepare for your Series 6 exam so that you can pass yours as well. So one, use the study.com platform. Two, the Series 6 exam is about veritable annuities. As you see here, there's a great emphasis placed on veritable contracts. So we're talking about annuity products here, and regulatory investment company and veritable contracts. So you want to, really hone in whether you're using study.com, which I recommend that you do, or another platform. These are the areas of study that you want to focus on: veritable annuities. Now, for those of you who who are still trying to grasp the concept of annuities and the veritable annuity, what the variable it boils down to is principal. One thing that you want to remember is the veritable annuity, and anytime you hear veritable with respect to an insurance contract, that means that those monies are going to be placed in a separate account. Remember that. You will see that, or there's a high probability that you will see that on your exam. Secondly, the veritable annuity, what makes that different from the fixed index annuity is the veritable annuity puts the principal at risk. Your fixed index annuities, they do not put the principal at risk. The veritable annuity puts the principal at risk because you are going to get a higher interest rate, especially in the case where you have a veritable annuity with an income rider, which you may see that on the exam. So if you have an income rider, that money is guaranteed to be paid out to you until the end of the contract, or until the end of death, or at the time of death. However, if it's a veritable annuity, that principal, unlike a fixed annuity, at time of death, whoever your beneficiary is, that will then transfer to them. The veritable annuity, if the market is down at time of death or at close of the contract, then it may be less, or it could be more than what initially was from the initial deposit. So those are the things that you want to remember. I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to take you away from your course of studies. And of course, understanding FINRA Rule 2330. And it's very important to know the rules. And in study.com, they do a very good job at teaching you what the rules are that you will need to know for the exam. And for some people, that could make the difference between whether you pass the exam or not. So you really want to hone in on the rules that study.com presents. What I found, and what was amongst the question that was exposed to me, FINRA Rule 2330, deferred veritable annuities. And what that simply means is that a registered principal must oversee the application or the contract to ensure that it is suitable for the client. That's all that means. Deferred variable annuities mean that the investment will grow tax deferred until time of withdrawal. That's it. That's all you need to know about that. And that is what a deferred variable annuity in FINRA Rule 2330, that's what it boils down to. That's it. And if you understand that, then you will understand what you need to know to pass the exam. FINRA Rule 3120 is used by brokers and dealers to monitor compliance with their supervisory policies and procedures. What that means is that this FINRA Rule 3120 means that every year that brokers and dealers have to review their policies and procedures to make sure that it is compliant with FINRA. That's all that means. Now, you also want to hone in on how to read our cash flow statement. Now, the question that is asked is this: what is the most important part of a cash flow statement? And the answer to that is operating activities. That's the most important part, or the most important section in a cash flow statement is the operating expenses. They may ask you, another question about another section, but it's going to boil down to the operating activities, because that's where you're going to learn if the company is making a profit or not. Bonds and calculating convertible bonds is very simple. The formula to calculate convertible bonds is the price of the bond divided by the conversion ratio. Just remember that calculation, the price, or that formula there, so that you can do the calculation should you be presented with that question. Bonds are fairly straightforward. And for the most part, we know that if you are presented with a question where someone, or in the scenario, the client is a conservative investor, and if they are a conservative investor, then that means that their portfolio is going to be more bond heavy than stock heavy, because bonds are a conservative instrument. Real simple. I was also presented with a lot of prospectus questions. And if you are in taking the Series 6 exam, then this is something that you need to know, and you will be presented with a series of prospectus questions. And it's going to boil down to knowing your delivery times. Now, you have, when you are working with a client and the client purchases a mutual fund from you, then the prospectus is delivered to them immediately. As soon as the purchase is done, it's delivered to them immediately. A prospectus is also delivered when a company registers an application with the SEC. Now, you have the preliminary prospectus, which is sent out in advance, then you with advance of a sale. You also have the summary prospectus, which is a shorter version of the statutory prospectus. And the summary prospectus gives or hones in on the fine points that most investors care about. The statutory prospectus is the long form prospectus that contains all of the information. So that's what you need to know. That's what you want to hone in on, your prospectus and the delivery times. Now, scheduling for your exam day. This is very important. You want to schedule for your exam during the time of day that you are most focused to test. Now, let me be clear. Don't schedule your exam at 1 in the morning just because everyone in the house is quiet or asleep, if you have a house full of souls. Because if you are not focused at that time of night or morning, then I would recommend that you not schedule your exam during that time. So think about just, if you are not aware of yourself when you are most focused, just take a couple of days and monitor yourself when you are most focused. What time of day or night that might be, what time of the day are you most focused? And whatever time that is, that's when you want to schedule around that time zone. Now, for me to take a test, I typically like to schedule between 11 a.m. and 1 o'clock p.m. After that, I'm just not focused to take an exam. I can, and I have and I've, done okay. However, I'm most focused 11 a.m., between 11 a.m. and 1. I really don't want to do an 8:30 a.m. exam. That's just too early for me to take an exam. However, for some people that, that's fine, but that's something that you want to hone in on um, within yourself to determine what is the best time of day for you to take an exam. And some people have scheduled their exams during a time of day when they're just not most focused to take the exam. And it's not that they did not know the information, they just scheduled at the wrong time of day. That's all. So also, if you work a job, then I recommend that you take off at least 2 days prior to the exam. If you can take more off, I mean, if you have enough time on your job and you can take a whole week off, then I would recommend for you to take the whole week off. If not, at least 2 days prior to the exam. Isolate yourself and just study. No distractions. Turn the phone off, do whatever you need to do to get in the zone so you can study. And you just want to take, prep exams. You want to burn yourself in it. Review your notes the morning of the exam. That's what I did, and that's another reason why I like to schedule around 11 o'clock, because that gives me enough time to get up, get my blood circulating, eat something, and then go over my notes again so that I'm ensuring that I have the information fresh in my mind at the time that I test. And meal prepping. Now, what I did was I went to Panera Bread, I think the day before, 2 days prior to the exam. And what I got was I ordered the turkey avocado sandwich with no bacon. And I purchased that sandwich, and then I put the sandwich in the refrigerator. And so the day of the exam, all I had to do was I just woke up and I just grabbed the sandwich, just grabbed it out the fridge. And while I was, brushing my teeth and washing up in the morning, I let the sandwich sit out on the countertop, and so it can warm up some. And then I just sat down and ate it. So I didn't have to burn any energy fixing, food to eat. So I recommend not that you necessarily go to Panera Bread, but that you prepare a meal in advance so that the day of your exam, you don't have to focus on cooking or focus on, any meal prep. Like you think about, well, what am I going to eat or anything like that? You can, have your meal ready and you just eat it, and then you just ready to take your exam. You're just not exerting any unnecessary energy, and all your energy is being focused on passing the exam. So I hope that this was helpful to you. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always shoot me out a comment, and I will respond as quickly as possible. But again, I want everyone to go back and if you haven't already, go and watch how I passed the SIE exam on the first try. And in that video, you will see a clear outline and a framework of how I put several platforms together to develop a study course that helped me to pass the SIE exam. And I did the same thing to pass the Series 6 exam. Now, as a footnote, I am going to do another video on how I passed the Series 63 exam on the first try. However, I did not use Study.com. As of the filming of this particular video, they have not updated their Series 63 exam course. And FINRA has updated their Series 63 exam with new information. And Study.com, as of the recording of this video, has not updated their course yet. I have been told that it is in the making, however, has not been updated yet. It's not complete yet. So once it becomes complete, I will advise. However, I will be doing another video in the coming days. I promise you it won't be a year on the platform that I use to pass the Series 63 exam. If you found value in today's presentation, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your time. We are complete.